Today we're going to be talking about what is going on in the Raleigh Durham housing market, so stick around.
All right, so digging right in, kind of the flow of this video, we're going to talk about what we're experiencing personally on the ground, and then we're going to dig into some of the data points that came out. This data was from January, but I think it's still very pertinent to today. So what we're experiencing on the ground right now is the market is a roller coaster. So we have situations where we're actively putting buyers under asking, sometimes significantly under asking. We also have situations where we're getting into bidding wars, we're doing sight unseen offers, and so it's all over the place. I think a lot of this has to deal with in January, there was a continual drop in interest rates, and I think there were a lot of folks who locked in some rates during that time period, and I think we're experiencing a wave of buyers from that. If you're noticing interest rates, this video is being filmed, what's today, February 22nd? Yeah, February 22nd is when this video is being filmed. So if you're watching interest rates in the last week or so, they have not been dropping. They have been going up and up and up. So I think today we're in like the upper sixes, like 6.8%. My opinion is this wave of competition is not going to be a long-lasting wave. I think we're going to return to where the market was in the fall of 2022, where there's just interest rates aren't allowing that level of competition. So that's just my personal opinion.
But we have
inventory
inventory
is tight right now, which affects competition at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I have kind of a differing opinion because the interest rates have been going up.
Actually, Cindy
since
is
the last fall.
Never wrong.
And I think now, you know, in the fall, everything kind of slowed down a lot because people were like, oh my gosh, the interest rates are 6%. This is crazy. I'm going to wait for them to go back to 3 or 4. And now I think the realization is setting in. I don't think they're going back to 3 or 4 anymore. It's kind of what's going on in people's heads. And they're like, okay, I can live with 5s and 6s, you know, maybe not 7 so much, but we can live in this range. So I think it's becoming the new normal, and people always have to move. You know, you can't always wait out something, and there's no promise that it's going to go back to these like crazy low record lows that they were like during the pandemic. So I don't know. I think, you know, like Zach said, it's up and down, up and down, up and down with the interest rates. So people did lock in rates, and I think that did contribute to what we're seeing. But it'll be interesting to see, is it a continual tick up, or are we just going to kind of stabilize?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Cindy's often more right than me, so I don't know. Maybe you're right, but I think I'm right on this one.
I'm glad we just got that on camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pull this video back up all the time to show him.
Yeah. Whatever. So anyway, so digging into the data for January.
Yeah. So like we mentioned, you know, things are kind of strange. Like in general, home prices, you know, continue to rise and go up. Some have sort of stabilized from January. I think in some areas it's really different. Like in Wake County, year over year, we're looking at about 6% higher prices in January of 2023 than January of 2022. So that's pretty significant when you just look at 12 months over time, and the fact that halfway through last year, the market kind of, it didn't crash or anything, but it definitely
Well, it was a tale of two markets. The market first half of 2022 was completely different from the second half.
Right. And so it's interesting, you know, those, so that the value of the homes, I feel like, is staying high. You know, like things are still appreciating. There's still value there. Will it do 6% over again next year? I don't know, but I mean, I think it's good news for people that did have to buy in the craze of like 2020 to 2022 that home prices haven't necessarily dropped. However, the most interesting thing, I think, in Wake County, even though the prices were going up, the days on market, so how long a house is on the market before it goes under contract, was up 253%.
Yeah,
that's a lot.
Crazy. That's
crazy. Like hard to even conceptualize.
But even though the days on market are up, recently we've been seeing if the house, if it's well priced, if it photographs well, if it shows well, they're gone in a weekend. And so if you're confused after what we're telling you we're experiencing and what the data says, then we are too. I mean, it's the reality.
Strange.
It's the reality of this market. It's strange. So yes, days on market are up, but some of these houses are flying lately, and it's just created this weird dynamic
Right. And I think it's all relative, right? So it's 253% from last year, but last year homes had like
a day.
negative days on market. It was ridiculous. So, you know, to have that, it's not like, oh, I guess homes are sitting for 6 months now. Like, no, it was an average of like 13 days last year, and now it's around 40. So, I mean, 40 does sound like a really long time comparatively, but you have to keep in mind this is an average of every single house. So this includes, you know, things that are not ideal and are going to sit in any kind of market because they're not priced well, or they're just not an ideal location or anything. And this is the entire triangle area. So this isn't just looking at, you know, one specific spot. But, you know, it's all relative and it depends case by case, like what Zach was saying. So we do still see things selling really quickly. And so if you are thinking about selling your home with this information in mind, please stage it well, clean your house before you take the pictures. Like, if the pictures look good online and you are kind of up with your design trends, like the house is going to sell fast.
It will.
And in a market that's a little wishy-washy, like today's market, I feel like it really matters. Whereas in 2020, it didn't matter. It could have been not updated since 1932 and there still would have been a bidding war. But now I feel like we're seeing, if you have a HGTV house, it's going to sell fast.
Yeah. 1932. It's a long time not to update.
A long time.
All right, so in terms of inventory available, so inventory is actually up from this time last year. Now, what is not up is new listings hitting the market. And the reason that's important is because that's a future predictor, I think, of what inventory will look like. So inventory is a little bit higher because there's homes that are sitting on the market longer. Those tend to be less desirable houses. But inventory, as long as inventory is low, the market is going to have a competitive feel to it that it's just the reality of supply and demand, and it's not going to necessarily matter what interest rates are.
Right, which makes it really interesting. So like Zach said, inventory is up about 150% from last year, because last year, any new homes that were added sold usually within, we had like less than 2 weeks supply of inventory usually, and now we're like at a month and a half. So that just tells you some of these homes are sitting for longer. So some stuff, in January over January, it was the same amount of new listings added, but we have more that are like sitting available. So, I mean, it's a good thing you have more to choose from, but it still is pretty competitive and there's not a ton of newness to it. So, it's not like you're going to go to Zillow and see a million new things every day.
So if you are looking to buy right now, what my advice to our clients is be flexible. Like there might be a situation where you find a dream house and it's a competitive situation and you have to make a decision. Are you going to go into a multiple offer bid for this house? That could be a reality. You could also find that dream house and get it for under asking. And so both scenarios can happen right now. And so I think there's a level of flexibility that's needed to just navigate this market well.
It's very wishy-washy, strange times, but you need a good person to help you walk through it. So just remember, if you are looking to move into the area, we would love to help you, and we can do a Zoom call with you and kind of go over what would this look like in the particular area you're looking at, because we're giving an overview of the whole triangle, but we know each of these towns really well, and we can kind of dive into that deeper with you. So be sure to text or email us if you have specific questions about one area or another.
Exactly. So I'm Zach. This is my beautiful wife, Cindy. And like Cindy was saying, if you are looking to buy or you're looking to sell, we'd love to be your real estate resource of choice. So our contact info is below, so feel free to reach out to us. You can also find us on Instagram.
You can follow along with us on Instagram at The Honeycut Realtors. We'd love to see you there. And you can also head over to our website, honeycutrealtors.com. We'd love to connect with you, and we hope to talk to you soon.
But thanks for tuning in, and we will see y'all next time.